Welcome back to another episode of the ABL podcast. Here we've got part 2 of our DLC metagame discussion. Now we're talking about Indigo Disc. Much more recent, came out at the time of recording, 9 days ago? So we're still pretty new into everything. We haven't gotten to see these, a lot of the returning Pokemon go to lower tiers yet, and because that's likely where a lot of them will end up. But let's talk about some of the changes. So, first of all, you can ignore this top line here where it says Pokemon unbanned from Ubers, because those are Pokemon that, Darkrai, I guess, is the big one there. Seeing Darkrai in the OU metagame has been really interesting because it's not that big of a problem. It's pretty strong, it's pretty fast. It essentially has no ability unless you run Hypnosis, which is a bad and unreliable move. It doesn't have a ton of great coverage. It doesn't really benefit from terrestrialization that much, so it's been somewhat manageable. That being said, I really don't know how people feel about it in our metagame, but we'll explore it. I didn't do the prep that I did before with the Pokemon, so hang on. Okay, so here we go. Here we got the stats. Now first we've got our Chaladon. If you don't remember what our Chaladon looks like, here's that guy. Sorry, it's a little off center. I'm not fixing it for right now. So, our Chaladon stats. This is Duraludon's evolved form. Overall, I think the special attack might be the same or only slightly higher. I can't remember. But the defense is significantly higher. The SPDEF is higher. The speed, I think, is probably in the same ballpark. These aren't huge jumps in numbers, but they are notable along with the ability Stamina, which is super helpful. Adds a lot to the defense of this Pokemon. So the sets I've been seeing a lot are Body Press, Draco Meteor, Flash Cannon, and its signature move, I've forgotten what it's called. It's something Beam, right? No. Ult? Charge? No? Okay. Sorry, this is embarrassing. I can't remember what the name of that thing is called. Electro Shot, that's what it is. So, Electro Shot, 130 base power move, 100% accuracy, raises special attack by 1, hits on turn 2, no rain recharge. So, this is like Meteor Beam, except 100% accurate, and it doesn't have to charge in the rain. I kind of wish they'd buff Meteor Beam to be 100% accurate in the sand, or sorry, 100% accurate period, and then, doesn't have to charge in the sand. Although there's no immunity to rock, so maybe that's the whole thing. But anyways, this makes it such, and then also it gets Weather Ball. No, it doesn't. I thought I got Weather Ball. Okay, never mind. So put Body Press back on there. This has been the new, it's a big time rain Pokemon because Electro Shot makes it so strong so fast. That's a strong move in and of itself. And then it makes the rest of its moves stronger, obviously. So, Flash Cannon is no joke. Draco Meteor is very strong. Body Press really gets boosted by Stamina pretty fast. So, this has been a really great both Rainmon and anti-Rainmon. If you're facing off against an opponent who has rain and you don't, Electro Shot's a great bring. It's super threatening and it's not really scared. You can run. This has. It's hard to say respectable SPDEF, but if you throw an Assault Vest on this and bring this against rain, this is pretty significant. I'm sorry, I've just listened to the Gold, Silver, Crystal music I got in the background. I've never heard this before, and that's because it's the Battle Tower in Crystal. Didn't play a lot of that, but 251 with the boost from Assault Vest puts it 375-ish, 376. That's pretty respectable. You can really soak up those hits from rain teams with this, along with Stamina, boosting out your bulk. A little bit of wish support. This is an amazing anti-rain Pokemon. This is just, it's really impressed me. I don't know if it's Platinum tier. It's a really solid pick in Gold. On a rain team, not on a rain team, regardless of weather, I think our Chaladon's a really cool pick. After that, we've got Gouging Fire. Let's show you a picture of Gouging Fire. That one. This guy. This weird looking Entei thing. I'm not a big fan of it. But Gouging Fire, here's its stats. Pretty good defenses at 105, 121, 93. And also good speed at 91. Who cares about special attack? We're not bothering with that. Attack is respectable at 115. Dragon Fire is a great defensive type. I mean, not a great defensive type, but pretty good. It doesn't, let's see, weak to ground. Okay, weak to ground, dragon, rock. I think that's it. And those, you know, ground and rock, you know, pretty predominant moves, but also typically physical. So let's talk about Burning Bulwark. So signature move of this Pokemon. This is basically Baneful Bunker, but burns you instead of poisons you. This gives it a lot of setup opportunity. I think this gets Willow, right? No, it doesn't appear to. But this gets Heat Crash. This is a pretty heavy Pokemon, so this is almost no drawback. But even if you didn't want to run that, it gets Flare Blitz. It's Outrage or Dragon Claw, and then gets Dragon Dance, and it also gets it gets Morning Sun. So this can be a really, like, this is a set you could run, honestly, like, and then go, like, I know this is the second Pokemon built Spit F, but you could run something like this. And on top of this, it's also amazing in the sun by itself because it gets that boost to its stab move and then also gets Photosynthesis. So you can build this to get, I wonder if you can build it to get a speed boost. Probably. That's not that far off, so. Where's Jolly? Bip? Yeah, so I mean, yeah, like, I don't think this is that stupid of a spread to run if you wanted to get like a speed boost and you can run booster energy. This is a really cool Pokemon, really threatening setup sweeper because unlike most Dragon Dancers, this can't get burned. That's what made Mega Charizard X such a great like defensive Dragon Dance setup sweeper. It's one of the things that made Mega Altaria a really good Dragon Dancer because it could get burned, but it could have Pixelate boosted Facade. I almost wanted it to get burned. This is a really cool setup sweeper. Has a lot of opportunities to do so. And along with Terra, I think that opens up the possibilities for it in terms of getting setup opportunities. After that, we've got Raging Bolt. Let's see the picture of it. I like the design of this Pokemon. Some people think it's silly. I think it's fun. I mean, it is both fun and silly. But, so, Photosynthesis. Same stuff we talked about before. Stats, 125 HP. Love that. That's awesome. 137 special attack. Very good. Defenses, 91, 98. Very, very solid. Attack, not going to be using it much. I kind of wish they kind of min-maxed like they did with Raging Bolt. Just give me like, or that's the wrong Pokemon, whoops. Or with Gouging Fire, how they had 65. Just like, make this 65. Give me the extra 8 somewhere else. Put it in here. Make it go 145. I don't care. I mean, you could put it anywhere else. You could split it up between the defenses. That would also be good. This Pokemon's honestly pretty well optimized. Nitpicking. So, the big gimmick about this one is its signature move, Thunderclap. This is Electric type special Sucker Punch. Really awesome for a Pokemon with middling speed. And then great special attack. This thing is so threatening with Thunderclap, Calm Mind, Dragon move of choice. Let's go with Dragon Pulse, why not? And then if you do want to run it in the sun, it gets Solar Beam. And this definitely gets Weather Ball. So this is awesome on sun teams or rain teams. It's a switch hitter in that regard. This is, I think Raging Bolt is really an exciting Pokemon for weather. And also, even it still functions really well outside of weather. I know I've been kind of harping on these two for their like weather benefits. Actually, all three of these so far for their weather benefits, because of the fact that they get weather-related moves. but I don't think that's necessary. I think you can run these Pokemon without weather and they're still going to do fantastic. Really exciting. After that, we've got Iron Boulder. Paradox Terrakion. Here's what that looks like. Not really impressed with the design of that one. A little underthought. This thing's wild. 124 speed, 120 attack, 90, 80, 108. By no means frail. And plus this thing's gimmick move it gets is called, I'm gonna remember. Oh, Mighty Cleave. It's right here. Thank goodness. So, just barely weaker than Stone Edge and 100% accurate, bypasses Protect, so can't stall it out very effectively. Obviously, if this thing gets Swords Dance, it gets Mega Horn, Earthquake. Does it get Psycho Cut? Yeah, pretty sure. I was gonna say you could run Zen Head, but I think it gets Zen Head. But if you want a little bit more power, that's nice. Also gets Close Combat. This thing has so many great moves to choose from. And then Quark Drive. So obviously it gives it that 1.5 times speed boost if it's holding booster energy or if it's electric terrain. I haven't seen much electric terrain from this thing. If you did, you could run Wild Charge because it would get that boost. This thing's really crazy because it can hold that booster energy, it gets that speed boost, and then it really leaves the rest of the metagame behind. It's so hard to outspeed this thing without a really fast Scarfer. The good news is, look at this thing's typing. Rock, Psychic. Now start to think through priority moves, like the common priority moves. I know there's stuff like a Cell Rock, but only 2 Pokemon in the whole game get that. Extreme Speed, pretty limited distribution, is one of the things that this resists. Same thing with Quick Attack. Almost nobody uses Quick Attack. But the common ones, Aqua Jet, Shadow Sneak, Bullet Punch, Sucker Punch. Those ones all hit this thing super effectively. So you have to Terra to get around that. It's a little unfortunate. But I still do think that that is one of the things that really holds this Pokemon back, is how weak it is to priority. Now, of course, you could pair it with Psychic Terrain, which alleviates that quite a bit. But, that's another big investment. After that, we've got Iron Crown, this Paradox Cobalion. This one is also really cool. So, here's that stat spread. Not as fast as before, but very good special attack, solid defense, like really good defenses. 90, 100, 108, really good. Steel Psychic is a pretty good defensive typing. Weak to Ground, Dark, Ghost, and Fire. Still gets that Quark Drive ability. Benefits to this is this. You can still get the. I think you can still get a speed booster energy on this. Let me double check. Yeah, I mean you have to scale this back a little bit, which is a little unfortunate. Yeah, but you can get the speed boost. You can get the speed boost on it. It's Calm Mind. It's Agility. It gets Stored Power. And it gets its new move, Tachyon Cutter. Doesn't check accuracy, so guaranteed to hit 100 base power special move. Hits through subs, hits through sashes. This thing is an amazing benefit to this. On top of that, it gets the now redistributed Expanding Force. So this thing's awesome on Psychic Terrain, as well as being good, like getting benefits from Electric Terrain. This Pokemon, I wonder if it gets, I don't think it gets, right? Supercell Slam, new move, bad move. No, nobody, you shouldn't be using that, that's crazy. Yeah, it doesn't look like it gets that Rising Voltage, that'd be cool. But Iron Crown, I think, is really... I don't think it's as, overtly good as Iron Boulder is, but this thing is good. That's a great speed tier to have, on top of basically getting a, air quotes, free way to get that speed boost with booster energy. Okay, next we've got Hydrapple. Really fun Pokemon. Right here. Really fun Pokemon. I think this thing has one of the coolest signature moves I have seen. It's called Fickle Beam. So, I'm going to pull up Dragon Pulse here real quick. Dragon Pulse is only 5 base power more, but also has a lot more PP. And no additional effect. So, Dragon Pulse is, you know, it is what it says on the tin, right? It's just, it's no gimmicks. It's just pretty strong move, right? That's as good as it gets unless it crits or something. Fickle Beam, a little bit weaker, but it has a 30% chance to have its power doubled. So it can just go, boom, now I'm 160 base power move, and 30% is significant. Like, I played Pokemon back in the day when crits were double damage. This is basically a 30% chance to get that, and also, there's a chance you could crit on top of that? That's crazy. Like, think about it. Something you might be looking at and be like, okay, this thing's gonna click Dragon Pulse, with, hold on. Sorry about that. Let's say that you're calcing Dragon Pulse and just like, okay, with like leftovers and stuff, just out of range of being 2-hit KO'd. So that should be fine. And then he busts out Fickle Beam. You go, oh, that's even weaker. I'm in even better shape after the leftovers recovery. And it just doubles in power and clean 2-hit KO and clean OHKOs you. On top of that, it could crit. Like it's such a strong move, and it's such a strong move frequently. I expect this to be ran a lot. Not only because like it's super funny, but also like, let's say you run Draco Meteor, you get Leaf Storm on here. I guess you can run Earth Power to hit Steel types, but it's not like you have a bunch of coverage moves you want to run. Like you're probably not running Hydro Pump, even though you could. But your special move pool is shallow. I think you're probably running this as a go-to. Oh, but we haven't even talked about its stats and abilities. So 120 special attack, nothing to joke about. 106, 110, 80 as far as defenses go. Also really good. Speed, obviously pretty slow, but let's look at the abilities. Got Super Sweet Syrup, we talked about that before. Regenerator. Regenerator on this mon. This thing's pretty bulky. Has a exploitable but also useful defensive type. You're going to want to drop Dracos, you're going to want to drop Leaf Storms, and then switch out. I think Fickle Beam is still going to find itself on a lot of these sets, but this Pokemon's going to be so fun to use. It's just a nuke. Really love it. Now let's talk about some weird shit. We've got Terapagos. So Terapagos, I'm not showing you the pictures of these. I'm not going to bother. It's a little baby turtle. You can kind of see it right there. So, normal type, here's its stats. But these stats largely irrelevant because of its ability Terra Shift. As soon as it comes in, it changes into this one. Okay? So, here's these stats. Nothing crazy, but pretty good defensively. 95, 110, 110. Offensively, leaving a bit to be desired. Attack is 95, special attacks 105, speed's 85. So, but pretty bulky, especially considering its ability Terra Shell. So basically, basically multi-scale? That's tough, because like, so all moves that you are hit with on the first turn are not very effective. So somebody busts out a close combat, instead of it doing double damage, it's going to do half damage. That's really kind of weird. I don't think so. The good news about this is things can't benefit from like weakness policy like old Dragonite sets used to do. So that's one good thing. But I've also seen multi-hit moves don't work on this. So if you want to go like Icicle Spear or a move like that, I can't think of literally one other move. But or Arm Thrust, right? That's a fighting move, so it's even more relevant. For whatever reason, the way it's coded is even if you break the full health, it keeps that effect going, and apparently that's an intended effect, so that's weird. So this thing gets a lot of great moves. So it gets Rapid Spin, which is nice to have. I felt like it gets Recover. No? Okay. That's good. That's good, honestly. Signature move, Terra Starstorm. Terapagos Stellar becomes Stellar type, hits both of us, so ignore that. So, but for right now, it's 120 base power normal type move. with 100% accuracy, no drawback. That's great, right? And then, you know, gets Calm Mind, gets Energy Ball, Earth Power, Dragon Pulse, Aura Sphere, Body Press, Flamethrower. This thing gets so much coverage, it's insane. I mean, I guess the gimmick of it is like, it's like got all the types or whatever. But also stored power. But this thing is so cool. Here's the problem, okay? When it terastallizes, so it's locked into Stellar Terra type. It has to be, I think, yeah, it has to be Stellar Terra type. When it terastallizes, comes this form, gets these stats. Significant HP increase. Defenses actually stayed the same. Attack, special attack bumps up. And then, so it basically can recover health, become stronger, and Terraform 0 ends weather and terrain effects, but that only happens one time per battle. So you switch it out and switch it back in. Doesn't keep doing that. Now, up to this point, we haven't talked about Stellar Terra type. It's a weird mechanic, and I'm not sure how everyone feels about it. The Stellar Terra type does not change your typing. So this thing, when it Stellar Terra types, is still normal type. Defensively, it's still normal type. Offensively, with a normal Pokemon, like if Hydrapple Stellar Terra types, right? If Hydrapple Stellar Terra types, then the first time it uses a Dragon type move, it's going to get an additional 20% boost. Even like it's got Stab, that's plus 1.5. Then it'll get another 1.2 from the Stellar Terra type. But Dragon moves are only going to get that boost once, and then Leaf Storm would only get that boost once. Earth Power would only get that boost once. And then if somebody's running Terra Blast will function as it normally does, but it'll be Stellar Terra type, so it'll be unresisted by your opponent. It'll be typeless, pretty much. So, doesn't matter what type they bring in, you're going to be doing neutral damage. That's really helpful. The drawback is, though, if you're a Stellar Terra type and click Terra Blast, you get a drop to your attack and your special attack each time you use it. I think that's kind of weird, because I don't think Stellar's is, like, overtuned in any way. It's done a interesting thing where it makes contrary Pokemon better for no reason. But anyways, back to Terrapagos Stellar. This thing gets the 20% boost on every move, every time. It doesn't go away. So if you want, so you can run Calm Mind. I really thought it got Recover, but I guess not. But you can just run like lefties or something, right? Calm Mind, Terra Starstorm, Stored Power, and I don't know, Rapid Spin for the boost, right? So I think you could probably do something like that. This thing got banned like immediately because of the crazy bulk and the Terra Starstorm being typeless. So honestly, you don't even need Stored Power. You could run whatever the fuck else you want in this spot. You can go ahead and run Protect to get more leftovers recovery. It doesn't matter. Or, I'm stupid. This is what you'd run, right? Like, you could just stay at full health and just keep Calm Mind resting, getting Terra Starstorm, and it does neutral damage, and it's a 20% boost on top of everything else. So, I don't think I'm going to get too much pushback when I feel like I'm saying Terrapagos Stellar needs to be banned. Problem is, that's me saying Terrapagos is allowed, but you can't terastallize with it. So that's problematic, because I don't want to pick and choose what Pokemon can and can't terastallize, because like we had a discussion about Volcarona. Volcarona, I think, is a good Pokemon, right? But I think it's probably broken in draft because of terastallization. And if we said, like, oh, you can draft Volcarona, but you can't terastallize it, how much does that decrease its value? Does that make it a gold tier Pokemon? If so, if we're saying it's a gold, are we saying a gold tier Pokemon can't terrestrialize? That seems weird. I think it draws weird lines. I don't want to just pick and choose Pokemon that can't terrestrialize. I think I've made my opinion about this pretty clear in the state of the ABL from before. So go listen to that if you haven't. But that's all the new Pokemon. Let's talk a little bit. Sorry for the weird thing here. Hang on. There we go. Let's talk a little bit about returning Pokemon. So Venusaur, I think it got something new. I think it got Gunk Shot or something like that. So those physical Sunsweeper sets, probably a little bit better. Blastoise, I don't think got anything new. Vileplume, it doesn't have aromatherapy anymore, so that really hurts it. Tentacruel got Flip Turn. I think that's awesome, especially in a metagame. Like, I remember Dakota and I were talking back in season 4 when we were at our tiering meeting. It was the first time I met Tyler. And we mentioned, like, what's it called? Tentacruel is a much better it's kind of used as a pivot. It's not like a wall. And we explained what a pivot was. It's just like, oh, it'd be better if it had like some sort of momentum, so that way it could come in, take a resisted hit, switch out, and you don't lose momentum. But it's still nice to be able to come in, soak up that hit, and then you can kind of regroup. Now it can Flip Turn out. Like, Flip Turn, knock off Toxic Spike, Rapid Spin. It's a nice support set for it. Dodrio, I feel like it got something. It got like Low Kick or something. Dugong got some stuff, but it's still, at the end of the day, it's a Dugong, unfortunately. Exeggutor got Growth. I don't think a Alolan Exeggutor, I assume, also then has Growth, but it's not as good because it doesn't have Chlorophyll. It has Harvest. I don't know, maybe you could do something with like a Pinch Berry or something, but I don't know. These two guys, the Hitmons, Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee both got Swords Dance. That's really cool. I've used a lot of bulk up Hitmonchans in the past. Having Swords Dance, Drain Punch, Mach Punch, Knockoff. Now they both get Knockoff. Really cool options for these guys. Nothing new for Rhydon. Lapras probably got something new, but it's still Lapras. I think it's like Wave Crash and Icicle Spear or something. Everyone's talking about Meganium got new shit, but it's still stuff that's not going to make it very good. Gator got something. Can't remember what. I feel like it's like a non-sheer force move, so I think Wave Crash probably. I think you're still going to want to use Liquidation to avoid that recoil, because you'd be getting recoil from the Wave Crash and from the Life Orb, so don't like that. Oh, Lantern. I love Lantern. Let me double check and make sure that I'm not wrong about this. Yeah, so it still doesn't have Toxic. It did get Scald back, but I don't see Heal Bell as anything on this list, which really stinks, right? Because that was something that was great for Lantern. Unfortunately, it doesn't have that anymore. Bellossom. I think this thing benefits from Terra. This is basically like Lilligant, but a little worse. And Lilligant, I think, is a niche, solid, low-tier pick. Oh man, Gramble got something that threw me off. I got like Encore. Really threw me off in a Ranbat, but Gramble's an awesome... I think it gets Stealth Rocks. You still get Stealth Rock. No, you don't still get Stealth Rock. A little unfortunate. But Gramble's like a nice... It's nice to have like a physically defensive fairy. Like that's actually, because of Intimidate, it can actually be built Phys Def. A big benefit. Skarmory, no real changes as far as I'm aware. Kingdra got Wave Crash, so now you can run a Dragon Dance or physical Rain Kingdra a lot more effectively. Oregon 2 doesn't get Toxic anymore. That really sucks for it, because that was one of its main ways of actually dealing damage. Smeargle, you know, gets everything else did, so, you know, access to the new moves is really what Smeargle got. I think the most notable thing is stuff like Ceaseless Edge and Stone Axe for Smeargle. Excuse me. I gotta double check. I don't know if Hitmontop got Swords Dance. I feel like it should have, right? Swords Dance. No, it didn't. That's mean. How could they? This thing dances. This capoeira. They should totally get that. Raiku's back, Entei's back, Suicune's back. No noticeable changes with them. I think Suicune. I don't think Suicune got Toxic back. No. So, Suicune's gonna go back to running its old sets. I really do feel like Raikou not having Signal Beam stinks for it. Missed that back in the day. Oh, something I didn't mention about Gouging Fires. It gets Earthquake. Entei still doesn't. Ain't that a son of a bitch? People are really hyped about this. Sceptile gets Shed Tail, believe it or not. I don't think that makes too much of a difference because it doesn't have any form of recovery. So once you shed that tail, that Sceptile is, it can't shed tail again unless it gets like a citrus berry. And somebody out there, because I had the thought for a second, went like, oh well, you can shed tail and get the citrus berry, and then you get your Unburden boost. But then you immediately switch out, so you don't get to enjoy that Unburden boost. I think the only time you'd see this is you'd shed tail, get citrus berry, pass it. And then you could come back in later, get another shed tail citrus, or shed tail, because now you're at 75% health, right? Or you're at 74. So you pass, so now you've successfully passed twice, and you come back in at 24%, and you're in overgrow range, and you can just fire off a pretty strong grass move. Wow, what are the chances we get 2 Kimono Girl songs in a row on this? Swampert got Flip Turn, but it might have already, I feel like it already had that. Still no Toxic. Pretty sure it got Stealth Rock back, right? You have to give Swampert Stealth Rocks. Hello? Hello? Jeez. No Stealth Rock, no Spike for Swampert. That sucks butts, right? Let's see if you got Scald back. No Scald back. It's going to be rough times for Swampert. The team player is going to be having a hard time chipping stuff down. Plusle and Minun, they probably got great stuff, but who cares because it's Plusle and Minun. Nothing new as far as I'm aware for Flygon. Metagross got access to Knockoff, which is really cool. It also got access to Psychic Fangs, so that is like the strongest 100% accurate Psychic type move that, isn't like a event exclusive or like, legendary exclusive thing. Reggie's didn't really get anything as far as I'm aware, but unfortunately all of them lost Toxic, so that's a nerf. Oh, good news for Latios and Latias. Oh, sorry about that if that came through on the mic. Their signature moves got buffed, but I can't remember. I want to say one's Mist Ball for Latias, right? So it used to be 70 base power, and now it's 95 base power. So it's stronger than Psychic, and has a 50% chance to lower, 50% chance to lower the target's special attack. So imagine Moonblast, but better, and Psychic type. That's great. That's like an awesome move for it. You're always going to run this over Psychic unless only 8 PP, so maybe you might not want to. But what's it called? The other one, Latios, it's the move Luster Purge, which I believe is the same base power, correct? And it has a 50% chance to lower the target's special defense. So this is amazing. Like that's going to allow it to break through some Pokemon that it probably shouldn't be able to break through. It's, kind of in a way like Shaman Sky does with Seed Flare. Obviously not as strong, not as big, and it's not a double drop. And it's also not the same chance, but similar, like kind of a similar thing. I'm gonna just, maybe that's misrepresenting what it can do, but I stand by that. Deoxys Defense and Deoxys Speed. Okay, so, all the Deoxys forms are returning, but these are the only ones that returned to OU, so that's why they're on this list. Kind of took a poll about how people feel about them. Now, these things aren't crazy strong. Deoxys Speed only has 95 attack and special attack. Deoxys Defense only has 70. But these things they both get Recover. They both get spikes and stealth rocks. And then they both get like dual screens. Fantastic utility Pokemon. I believe I should double check before I speak out of turn about this. I'm just going to double check Deoxys moveset and see if it still gets the move I'm worried about. So the set I'm worried about that used to be really annoying was like, geez, come on. What generation is this? SV, here we go. Cosmic Power, Stored Power. That's the thing I'm afraid of, and it still gets Cosmic Power. I think that's really hard to deal with, especially in a terrestrialization meta where it can change to whatever type it feels like to avoid any of those like common super effective hits. I think that's really tough. It's tough. So I don't like that about them. But I also may be up for trying them out once because the HP's bad. On the defensive one, the HP's pretty bad. The speed's so good on the other one, it ends up you really get to determine the like speed of the game. No pun intended. Like you're bulky enough to be able to take it, especially because in draft you don't have to invest in speed probably. You can just go like bulk and go ahead and get up screens or get up all your hazards if you want. And you can continue to do so because you're bulky enough to stay healthy, especially with recover, and keep getting them up time after time. Those are my concerns with them. I don't think they're overly broken, but you know, we might end up seeing. Bastiodon and Rampardos, they don't really get anything new that's relevant, I don't think. I think, like, you know, Bastion gets body press, which cool, I guess. But I don't think that's enough to really make that big of a difference. Rhyperior, nothing new, but Terra's gonna help it out, I think. These two guys don't really get anything of note. So I guess since I'm looking at it, it makes me think of it. Supercell Slam is a new electric type move that was introduced this generation. A lot of people are like, oh, this is a much better thing for physical electric types. It's not. It's actually, I think, worse than Wild Charge because it's 5 base power stronger. So it's 100 base power, 95% accurate, but miss 5% of the time, or more likely, click it as a ground type comes in, use half your HP, like how Jump Kick works. I think that's so bad because ground types are so abundant, and if that's your primary stab, that's a big problem. I just feel like you'd rather go with Wild Charge, take the little bit of extra damage, but without the like huge downside, right? Porygon C, nothing crazy, or Porygon C, Jesus. Porygon Z, nothing crazy with that. Reggie, nothing crazy. Contrary Superior. Okay. Superior. I said Contrary Superior like it's a totally different Pokemon, but it's not. It's the same Pokemon. The thing about this one is how we talked about Terra Blast before. Like, before what the issue you'd have is like, you wouldn't have enough coverage for Superior. You'd want to run like an offensive Superior, and you'd go like, I mean, I guess you'd always go sub, right? You'd have like Glare, Leech Seed, sub, but those would be your, you'd have two, maybe one or two of those status moves. And then you'd have Giga Drain, Leaf Storm, and then you used to back in the day have Hidden Power Fire. Now you run Stellar Terra Blast because anything that Leaf Storm doesn't hit as strong, Terra Blast is going to hit neutrally. And then on top of that, you're going to get an additional special attack boost because normally it drops it, you have Contrary, it boosts it. Similar thing happens on, what's that Pokemon? Enamorous Incarnate. As far as I know, those are the only two Pokemon usually running Stellar Terra Blast. Something to look out for. Embor's back. Love Embor. Wish it got Jump Kick or High Jump Kick, but it still doesn't. Wish it got Wave Crash too. Just it's got all the other recoil moves. Why not? Zebstrika gets that new bullshit move that I just talked about. It's still real bad. Excadrill's back. Sans Savior has returned. Does it get spikes? No, it doesn't get spikes. It would be right here on this list. But, you know, another rapid spinner. Just solid Pokemon all around. Like, has decent bulk, decent typing, Mold Breaker if you need to get up rocks against a Magic Bouncer. It can fill so many roles on the team. And on top of that, if it's just like, I want to break shit, Excadrill's your guy. Love Whimsicott in terms of what it can do in like a utility role. Also, I'm waiting for Zeng to take this and run a level 1 Whimsicott with Prankster, Encore, Leech Seed substitute. Come on, you know you want to do it. Scrafty got something. I think he got Bulk Up. Yeah, people are all excited about Bulk Up, and I think but it had Drain Punch before, right? Makes it pretty interesting defensively. I think it also gets Swords Dance. I just wish this thing had Sucker or Mach, either one. Kind of a shame that it doesn't. Cincino got something. I think this got Tidy Up. So think of this as Mousehold. Does all the same stuff Mousehold does, because it's got Technician and multi-hit moves. But it does it better, with the exception of Population Bomb is obviously way stronger than... and also this thing can do loaded dice stuff, right? This thing benefits from loaded dice. Obviously Population Bomb way stronger than Technician Tail Slap, but the overall rest of the damage output from Cincino is way better. Reuniclus, I think this is going to do really well with Terra. It also got Aura Sphere, so it doesn't have to rely on Focus Blast anymore. I think it got Aura Sphere. I'm like 90% sure. Galvantula, I think my personal favorite Sticky Webber. That Compound-Ized Thunder is no joke. Golurk, I don't think got anything significant. Unless, did we have it? Did it have Poltergeist last time we had access to it? I think it did. But that's it for that. Gabalion, Terrakion, Verzion, I was really hoping they were going to get Sharpness as another ability, but unfortunately not. They didn't get anything else really that is worth noting. Keldeo got Vacuum Wave, and I think it also got Aura Sphere. Two really big benefits for it, if we're being honest. Like, that's awesome for this Pokemon. Really interested to see if that makes too big of an impact with it. The Meowscarada is not really important. Malamar gets Contrary, so you could probably see some Stellar Terrablast shenanigans. Incineroar just as good as ever. You got even more stuff in the in terms of doubles, because I think you got like Helping Hand or Follow Me or some sort of bullshit like that. I mean, I don't play doubles, and there's no way to play doubles unless Zach makes a doubles tier list. So who knows? Primarina, I don't think got anything super new, so we'll move past it. Toucannon's back. Toucannon we haven't seen since Gen 7. And even then in Gen 7 we didn't see it. This Pokemon's not great. What did it lose? It lost, I mean, obviously it lost like any sort of normal stab because there's no return. But it's got Boom Burst, it's got Heat Wave, I don't know. Got something else. Maybe we got Sheer Force Hurricane or something now. Araquanid, same old stuff, but it did lose Toxic, and it used to also run Magic Coat, where it bounces back a status move. Lost that, so that's a little unfortunate for it, because that's a big niche for it. It was like that lead. It's a lead and an anti-lead. It's really cool. Comfy. Same old stuff, but there's been a development. Now, this is so there is a mechanic with terrestrialization that doesn't come up very often, but if there is a move that is less than 60 base, like if it's a move that's less than 60 base power and isn't already boosted by Technician and isn't a priority move, okay? That's a lot of ands, but then it gets I think a 50% boost from if you terrestrialize that type. So that means Draining Kiss, even though it's not a priority move inherently. It's a priority move because of the ability, and it's not Technician boosted because it doesn't have Technician. This thing has even stronger Draining Kisses now if you Terra Fairy. And also we've seen this Pokemon just totally fuck up teams. So whatever we have it at, we're not charging enough for it, right? Comfy has worked really hard the past couple seasons to go out and get that paycheck, and it's a big contract year for it. So I think it's going to come through. Minior's back. Minior's also equally threatening setup sweeper to Comfy. Has really good opportunities to Shell Smash, and then because of its shields up form, it can't be statused in that form, or at least not like directly, like Will-O-Wisp, Thunder Wave, Hypnosis probably also doesn't work on it. While it's got shields down, and it's a little bit bulkier, and then it goes shields up. Or no, when shields are up, you can't do those things. When the shields come down, way stronger, way faster, and also if it's used White Herb or something from Shell Smash, or maybe you ran a Citrus Berry or something, so its shields would go down, and then you'd get a little bit of extra health back. You run Acro. This thing's a super threatening setup sweeper. Necrozma's back. I don't think this thing gained or lost anything super important. Still has Stealth Rock. Still has Meteor Beam. Still has Photon Geyser. Crazy shit like that. Still has Autotomize or Rock Polish, one of the two. This thing's going to keep doing what it did. Alcremie, no big developments. Duraludon's here, and it can hold an Eviolite now. I had a discussion with Dakota about this recently, about if I think that is super, like, how that increases this thing's status or value. And I don't think it does. I mean, it's another set it can run, but I really think you're going to get more mileage running a different item. If you're running, like, the defensive one, like, I remember I saw Iron Defense ones previously. Like, but this thing's got such shit special defense that it doesn't matter if it's holding an Eviolite most of the time, unless you have a really specific team matchup. So I could be wrong. We'll see. Just gonna scroll through here and make sure I didn't miss anything super big. Yeah, like I said, tidy up on that. All this shit still has Calm Mind. Ooh, Calm Mind Volcarona. What do you guys think? Dragon Dance on these guys, that's all old news. Oh, something about Kyurem. Somehow missed Kyurem here. So Kyurem, Dragon Dance, Scale Shot, Icicle Spear with loaded dice. That could be very, very good. It's like Baxcalibur was banned from OU. Honestly, we need to have a discussion about it. I think Kyurem may be in a similar boat, because it has, like, people forget, it's got good physical attack. Kyurem, I want to say it's the same as its special attack. Yeah, 130. Like, and that's not much weaker than Bax, right? Because Bax is like 130-ish, right? Oh, 145. Whew, big difference. Significant difference, and it can't get burned. But, like, not knowing if this is physical or special, and like the freeze dried Draco Meteor, I think it still gets Earth Power. I should check that, because that's pretty significant to it. Kyurem, yeah, still gets Earth Power. I think it still gets Focus Blast too. Yeah, still does. Like, this thing's still an enormous threat with freeze dry and all that. And then now it's got a legit physical set to add to its arsenal. Definitely a concern. Roaring Moon, I think we need to continue having the discussion about. Nasty Plot. Oh yeah, Hydrapple on top of all that other shit I said gets Nasty Plot. So you're definitely running Fickle Beam with that. Shell Smashers, all old news. Swords Dancers, we talked about the relevant ones. Rain, Sand, Sun, yeah. Knockoff. All these Pokemon got knockoff, but I feel like most of them already did. Oh, Emboar getting knockoff. I think that's new. But everything else I think we already discussed. Scald. Raikou getting Scald again. I'm loving that it has that. And Emboar of all Pokemon gets Scald. But let's see, did I miss any of these new moves? Hard Press. Target is crushed. I don't know even what gets Hard Press. This is like, the more HP the target has, the greater the move power is. I don't know what gets this. I don't know why you'd use this. Dragon Shear is a doubles move. Luring Voice is like this random fairy move that they gave some Pokemon. Temper Flare, same thing. Psychic Noise is really cool on some Pokemon. A little bit weaker, but it's a really nice option for like anti-priority. Upper Hand. User reacts fails outrighting a priority move. This could be interesting. I'd be surprised if it came in, like, if you know your opponent's gonna go for a priority move, this thing will attack first, but it's not very strong, and there's no guarantee you're gonna be hitting a Pokemon super effectively. So we'll see. I think those are all the things I wanted to talk about here. Yeah. I'm happy with everything we've talked about here. Really looking forward to seeing what you guys have to say. I hope you guys have a good holiday. Probably looking to draft somewhere in like mid to late January after we've had time to see more of these things. But throw your thoughts at me. I want to hear them. I want to know how people are feeling about all this. Thank you guys so much for all your support on this. And we had a great off-season tournament. We had the fact that we're going to hit 20 seasons of this is crazy. We've been doing this for over 10 years now. I really appreciate everybody putting so much, like, people seem to love this, and I know sometimes that I lose a little bit of steam in terms of putting effort into this, but 20 seasons, 10 years, just thank you everybody for everything. That's all I got, and I'll see you in another video. Goodbye.